Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Mittens. Wow, it's been a long time, hasn't it? You know what's been going on, all of the drama that I've had over the last couple of weeks, but it's sorted now. It's pretty much sorted and back down to business. As you can see here, we are on my level list, the level 21 at this stage, Rogue, I believe. And we are in the Barrens. I say I believe because all of the voice acting that you'll hear today, all of the microphone work I'm doing is done post-production because I'm using a different microphone and it seems to work strangely when I record in-game whilst playing. So this kind of gives me the opportunity to talk a little bit more about what's going on, my experiences of the playthrough that I'm doing right now, and my experiences of the game as it is as you're seeing it right now. And really, I've been having a good time. A lot of this video was spent in the Barrens and in the Stonetalon Mountains too, and I really enjoyed it in all honesty. These zones aren't ones that I would particularly enjoy. I remember filming in the Barrens on the Emerald Dream server, and thinking that it was a little bit dull. I mean, the Barrens is quite a samey zone. It's very, very large. The terrain is quite bland. It's kind of eponymous, really. It's called the Barrens for a reason. But you know, I quite liked it, especially because on Nostalrius the place is absolutely chock-a-block of people, and you'll probably see that. I mean, the one thing that I do feel a bit bad about is that I happen to have a lot of footage on my other computer, the one that was stolen, of when I was in the Barrens that was going to make up this episode. I had recorded about 45 minutes to an hour of footage in the Barrens going between the Crossroads and Camp Tarajo, which is obviously lost. So a lot of this period will be spent in and around Ratchet, dealing with the eastern side of the Barrens, a little bit of the northern Barrens, and a lot of it will be in Stonetalon Mountain Range. And I just want to take a little bit of time to talk about Stonetalon, because really it was a zone that I never really thought about much when I thought about playing on a vanilla server. I barely leveled in it. I remember running through it a few times when I played on Alliance, because it is pretty much a horde zone. I remember running through the Charred Vale a couple of times and thinking that that was a really cool area, really unique. But this time I got to go there for a bit and level in it, and as you'll see later on when we get further into this episode, it was really good. There was a little bit of PvP going on as well, funnily enough, especially in the Windshear Crag area. A lot of Alliance try to do the same quests, and some Alliance being a bit cheeky, trying to get a few ganks in. It's quite interesting, as you can see. I don't particularly profess to be a PvP player, but I didn't get killed at any point until I went further north, a bit that isn't in this video, and got taken on by a guy 6 levels higher than me, which is just a bit dickish. But you know, this happens sometimes. It's part and parcel of the game, and you know, you just gotta bear with it. But anyway, I believe that right now we are going to Ratchet, because we're going to complete the Guns at Northwatch quest, which is the one that I really like, a nice little quest where you basically go to the Alliance stronghold in the Barrens and take them out. It's a nice quest if you think of it a bit as a precursor almost to the Cataclysm style Barren zone. The idea of there being a holdout for the Alliance in the Barrens that the Horde are trying to take on and maybe destroy, only of course in the Cataclysm for it to be replaced by a much stronger fortress later on. But yeah, here we are in Ratchet. I think this may be the first time that you guys have seen me here. It was really nice. There were a lot of people here. I come back a few times in this playthrough, but just nice to see Ratchet as that nice neutral zone. There were a few night elves I saw in this area too, which is always good, because one of the best things about this server, even if you do die in PvP, I mean that's never good, but one of the best things about this server is knowing that the opposite faction has a nice population too, because you know if you want to make an Alliance alt or a Horde alt, depending on what faction you're playing on as your main, it's nice to know that there will be a lot of people there for you to play alongside. And furthermore, it's just good to feel that the whole world is populated and you never know what you can run into. It keeps you on your toes a little bit and makes you think a bit more deeply about how you want to play the game, where you want to level, how you're going to travel and stuff like that. And it also encourages a little bit of PvP and world PvP. As I say, later on when I go to Stonetalon, you'll see there are a lot of Alliance in the area, and it was quite fun really. I mean, occasionally people die and some people get a bit annoyed about it, but really, the game is an MMO, and world PvP in vanilla was a really big part of the game, because obviously there's no flying mounts, people are questing in similar areas, people have to travel on foot or via flight path, and really it works out quite well. It works out quite well. Maybe that's the idea that they had when they thought of Warlords of Draenor, having that, you know, that integration, that need to go nearby to your enemy, but at least in this server I'm experiencing it to a great extent, and that's fantastic. I will, of course, get in that thank you that I like to give in each one of these episodes to you guys, because this series is growing my channel exponentially It is fantastic, and I love all of these familiar faces that I get to see. There are people commenting who I'm getting to know now. It's really fantastic to see you guys encouraging me and enjoying the content. It's awesome stuff, and I do appreciate it very much so. I do really like it, and I like the fact that I am able to respond to everybody. And thank you for your comments. Now, we're about to make our way to Northwatch. As you can see, there's a couple of Alliance running right past. That's the sort of thing that I mean. They're obviously running to Ratchet. There is an uncommon sort of a strange code of honor that I've seen on Nostalrius. It's quite funny. Some people, and I'm not even like sidelining this to the rogues. It's not even the roguey style of play that you guys know I like to bring to the fore, that rogue style of play. But it's not even the rogues who are the ones who go against it. But you get the occasional person who's just like, "Ooh, red is dead, kill him immediately." But a lot of people consign to this sort of code of honor where it's like a weird sort of stalemate where, you know, if I see you and you don't target me, you don't stop and stare. If we just run past each other, we'll be fine. And I kind of like that, because really, when you're at 60, that's cool. When you're at 60, a bit of PvP is fantastic. And even at this level, a bit of PvP is fantastic. But speaking realistically, you don't really want to be killed when you're questing in somewhere like the Barrens, because you guys know as well as I do, there aren't as many graveyards in vanilla. They're a bit more spaced out, and the last thing you want is to die way, way, way away from that graveyard. But yeah, this is a really nice shot you're about to see. I mean, there's a lot of people questing in this area, which is fantastic, but I managed to get a few nice screenshots, which I think I'll definitely use as the thumbnail for this video when we get close to Northwatch. And it just reminds me of all of these beautiful scenes that you get to see when you play the game. Blizzard did do a really good job of implementing some fantastic vistas into World of Warcraft, especially for players such as myself who had played Warcraft 3 beforehand and then get to see places that they know about from when they were playing the game. A lot of the enemies in this area are a lot lower level than me right now. As I say, I'm level 21, I believe. I get to level 22 pretty soon. But I just wanted to clear up a few of these quests before venturing onwards. I clear up this one in the Barrens, then as I've said, I go to Stonetalon. And, well, you'll see where I go at the end of this video. You probably guessed where the traditional next zone is once you go Barrens, Stonetalon. But I'll leave you guys to decide. It's going to be good, trust me. But here we go. I climb up this hill here because I knew, you know, maybe it's the artist's eye, but I knew there was going to be a great sight to behold here. And just look at that for a view. That is absolutely fantastic, and I just couldn't resist getting the Alt-Z on the go and getting some screenshots. It is fantastic. It's awesome how they managed to make these areas, and it just makes the world feel really, really alive. It really, really does. It would have been interesting, I've got to say, if they made this a sort of Alliance area as well. Like, I got a look at questing for the Alliance too. But it would have made the Barrens even more of a zone of conflict than it already is, what with the Crossroads being the centre of PvP in Kalimdor, in my opinion. But yeah, here we are. The quest is basically that we have to take out a few of these sort of captains and cannoneers who are in the fortress itself. And we have to collect 10 Theramore medallions. There you go, you see one right there. We actually, as we've been getting a lot in this playthrough, we get a little bit of help here from fellow Rogue. And you will see him appear just in a minute. He actually saves my life, so thank you very much to you, my friend. I can't remember your name right now, but of course people will see, because I'm trying to record these videos in a bit higher quality, which means that it take a lot longer to upload for me with the crappy internet that I have here back home. But I think that quality is a lot better than just quantity, and I think you guys will probably agree with that. That's why I try to make these videos quite long as well. But anyway, this is what happens. So I instantly go over here and target this healer, but you see, I think we should just bring off the smite, so I go to kill her, and I put a rupture on this guy on the left, but it's not killing him because she keeps healing him. So at this point I say, oh right, I've got to go for her, I've got to kill her. And it takes me a while to make the decision, and I'm kind of my bad play here. So at this point I think, alright, yeah, I need to go back to her and take her on. So I managed to kill her there, but as you guys can see, I'm pretty low. And then out of nowhere, this absolute baller, this full-on bro comes in, jumps over the fence, like full-on Steven Seagal style. He gets his... I don't know what he's got going on there. He's got some kind of bloodless style thing going on, and he just goes full in there, and he heals me up with a first aid as well. What an absolute bro. Absolutely loving it. So I tell him, let's go, let's make our way. and we decided to go up this hill because this is where the cannoneers are. I don't know if you guys have seen my warrior let's play, but I'm pretty sure that I did this quest on that as well. I have to say though, it was so much better doing it on Nostalrius, and that's not me being biased because you guys know that I'm starting to really enjoy the server. But it is more that, oh, by the way, I will just say now, he isn't a rogue, he's a warrior. I almost forgot. I thought he was a rogue, because, you know, when you see an undead running at you with a sword, you instantly think rogue. But he was an undead warrior, a fantastic class-race combination, in my opinion. These guys are waiting to do a follow quest, but we decided to just move on and get on with the quest that we're doing and kill the guy at the top of this tower. But anyway, as I was saying, I did this quest on the Emerald Dream server, but it was far better on Nostalrius, and that's not me being biased in my opinion. The reason why it was better on Nostalrius is because there were a lot of other people wanting to do the quest too. You can group up, which is fantastic, but also because I've had to spend time in this on this character gearing him up, I've gone to dungeons. I've got both of the dungeons that I could have done at this level. I have some quite nice gear. Killing enemies isn't that hard. These guys are around level 16. I'm 16, 17 I think, and the guys that I need to kill, the special ones, are about 18, 19 or 20. And I am a few levels higher than them, so I can take on 2 or 3 mobs at once. And that is a really good feeling. It's awesome when you're on a rogue and you just slice up people one after the other. And you're going to see some of that here. I just go in, there's 3 mobs here. I know I'm with a warrior, I know that he can withstand the pressure. He's a few levels lower than me, but I know that he can withstand their attacks for a little bit. So I just, you know, get the ruptures on, get the slice and dice on, let him wail away, and I just finish them off really. Because after all, I could probably do this quest by myself, but you know, why take more time? Why not speed it up a bit, help another guy out, you know, and just enjoy being with other people on this MMO. See, here's another opportunity. I pull another 2 guys here, and I've got no fear either. I've got the battle shout on by my friends with the warrior, and I just blaze through them all. You can see there's a few skeletons around here. Obviously, people probably attempting it a bit lower level, or maybe attempting it and pulling too many mobs, but we don't really have that problem. And this is essentially a very streamlined quest, and that's why I really enjoy it. Not to mention the fact that I happened, thankfully, to have logged out when I got my laptop stolen in an inn. So I've got bundles of rest XP bonus to burn through here, which really helps. That means that I'm leveling fairly quickly. So there you can see, guys, here's the first cannoneer that we have to take on, or the captain I believe it is. I'm not going to make the same mistake that I did the last time. I go straight for the healer, kill her, then I let my warrior handle the main guy, and I decide to take out this guard, swiftly kill him, then move on to the captain. The more I play on my rogue, the more I start to understand the significance of getting the points into those talent trees. As I've said a couple of times before, I thought that I was going to put most of my talents into combat, but as it's gone on, it seemed that it's going to be more assassination, at least for the early talents. The early talents of assassination are an absolute must. You've got your improved eviscerate there, you've got your improved slice and dice, you've also got the talent which allows you to add a combo point. I've currently got it, when I get to level 22 you'll see, but I've got it at the moment, as of making this video, I've got it at 40% chance to get a combo point after I do a finishing move, which is absolutely fantastic, because as a rogue, especially in PvE, you really want to be having as many combo points as possible, because you don't want to be having low energy when you have 5 combo points. You want to use your finishing moves and already know that you've got a couple of combo points on the target, that you only need to get a few more on it. So I've got that, and then there is also the talent that I'll be getting next, which is also in the assassination tree, which I believe allows me to regain energy from spending combo points, which is also an absolute must to keep that fluidity, you know, that fluency when you're doing PvE. And of course, one of the great things about a rogue is that a lot of the things that are good for PvE are also really good for PvP. So you could say that my build is effectively a hybrid sort of build, but you know me, I'm going mainly for the PvE. I cannot wait to get to those higher levels, start doing the high-end dungeons such as Stratholme, Scholarmance, you know what I mean. And then after that, getting into those fantastic raids, that Molten Core, I cannot wait for it. When I get that first Core Houndtooth, guys, I want all of the shoutouts, I want all of the GZs from you guys, because I will be doing a full run of Molten Core when I get myself a guild. And you guys, if you're out there and you've got any ideas of, you know, guilds that are good, anything that you think I should be doing, just feel free to comment. I will respond and I will take it on board. And I will also put the offer out there, you know my way of it, guys. If you want to do any kind of recording with me, if you want to do a dungeon with me, if you want to be featured in a video, you know, just just drop me a whisper in game. You know my character's Malevolous. I've had a few people already saying hi, and you guys know I respond. And it's just great. It's great to know that the server's populated and that people are getting to know me. I really like that. And honestly, sometimes I'm kind of guilty. I know I've given a few people advice when it comes to what class to play in vanilla. I myself can be a bit guilty of being an altaholic, but when I get that rogue action on the go and I get a good rogue character with some good weapons and leveling up fast, it's really fantastic. In vanilla, in my opinion, and I think a lot of people would agree, the top two classes in terms of leveling rate, in my opinion, have to be Hunter and then Rogue. Especially if you're going with a combat rogue style, because of the way in which you can just pick up new weapons and stuff like that. I think most people would agree that it goes Hunter, then Rogue, and I'll explain why. First of all, you do more damage as a rogue than you would as a warrior. And also, if you're a warrior, most people start to go with the sword and board style of play early on to help them out with dungeoning, which is a bit slower. And I also think that both Hunter and Rogue are a lot faster than, say, the mana classes, because as you'll know if you've seen my Shaman playthrough, it takes quite a bit of time to regain mana. And you have to spend quite a bit of silver towards the end levels, getting your mana up, you know, buying water, buying stuff like that, so that you can carry on with your questing. Obviously, as a rogue, we don't have that problem. Energy regen is fantastic, and we do a hell of a lot of damage. Also, if you get first aid, you don't have to worry about losing health much either. So here we are going to the last part of the quest. We've got one more guy left to kill, and as you can see, just like I said at the beginning, it is pretty streamlined. We're going through it really quite quickly. It's just fantastic. It's just a simple case of bursting through all of these guards. I kind of feel sorry for them if they weren't the Lion's pigs. As my main man Garrosh used to say, I could smell the stench of these Alliance pigs from across the Barrens. Yeah, we just have to go up to this tower, kill the last guy, and then we get on our merry way. And then I think after that you will see me exploring possibly Stonetalon. I'm not too sure. We will see. It's been a while since I actually recorded this first footage, a couple of days ago. I was just looking for the time to get the voice recording done. I wanted to make sure that I was giving as good a quality as possible for you guys, because I know that a lot of people really do like these videos, and I want them to grow in popularity too. Is it Cowboy? Just trying to look at the screen, yeah. Cowboy, I think it is. Crowley, my bad, I thought it said Cowboy. Crowley, that's the name of you. Crowley of the Frostwolf clan helping me out here. Fantastic skills from this warrior. Awesome to see him helping me out like this. So shout out to you, Crowley. Hope that you get to see this video at some point, man. And hope that you enjoy it. So here we are, we have the last cannoneer here. He goes straight for me. Crowley's at the bottom of the stairs. I'm pretty sure he gets the XP for this. I'm pretty sure he gets the quest objective for killing this guy. But I just finish him off here. It's pretty easy for me. Just loot the wall cloth and then down the stairs and we hop down the hill. And we're pretty much sorted. I think it's going to be level 24, for those who are wondering, when I'm going to start looking for a Shadowfang Keep run. You guys tell me in the comments, do you want me to make another episode before Shadowfang Keep, or would you rather I just blaze through to level 24 and then start looking for that next group for Shadowfang Keep? Because I've got to say, Shadowfang Keep is a dungeon that I remember doing dozens of times before Cataclysm. Wailing Cavern's not too much, mainly because I played on an Alliance, and for some reason I always found it easier to go to Shadowfang Keep, even though it's in Silverpine, than I did to go all of the way to the Wailing Caverns of the Barrens. Mainly because of the fact that if you're going to go to Wailing Caverns, you kind of have to get your way around the crossroads, which is kind of always annoying. But and also I was a noob at the time. But yeah, I love Shadowfang Keep. It has that sort of gothic style feel to it, you know. If I had to compare it to anything, I would think a little bit of Bloodborne, the game that's come out quite recently, because I am a big fan of that sort of Bloodborne Dark Souls style, and I really think that Shadowfang Keep has that, so I'm really looking forward to doing it, and also getting some fantastic rogue weapons that we know are in there. I think it's called the Butcher or something, the Butcher's Slicer or something like that. Comes from the Chef boss. I really hope I get that, especially because I've been leveling up my sword skills, as you can see right now, with the sword that I got from a quest in Stonetalon, a place that we'll be going to very soon. So I'm just looking through my quests, seeing what I've got to do. I decided to look at Shen's empty keg, but I think in the end I couldn't be bothered because it becomes grey pretty quickly, because I get to level 22 pretty soon afterwards, and it's one of those quests where there's a lot of manipulative things that you have to pick up. So at this point, I think I decided to go back to Ratchet, and then we will see what happens when I get there. Oh, yes. So what I did here was, I went to Thunderbluff because I had a quest to hand in. I think I got it from somebody in the Barrens. And I thought, you know what, seeing as I am fairly close by, and I'm going to be going to Stonetalon after this anyway, I thought I'll just take, a by route, and I'll just stop off at Thunderbluff, because Thunderbluff really doesn't get enough credit, and I was thinking about this when I was recording it. It is really nice to see Thunderbluff. First of all, because as you can see just looking around, there are a lot of people who are actually in the city, which is fantastic, because if you go there now in retail, even on a populated server, it's usually dead. Usually all you've got is a few low-level Tauren running about, looking for quests to hand in, or maybe just getting some stuff here and there, but Thunderbluff is full of people right now, which is really nice. But I just wanted to show it because I always liked the city. I thought it was a really interesting concept, a city on the mountaintops. And we'd hand in this quest just to free up the quest logs. My quest log's getting kind of full. I noticed that this was the PvP area. I don't think I'd actually been to this rise before. I'm actually also looking for a vendor, now that I think about it, because I had a lot of stuff in my bags from all the quests that I'd been doing, and also all of this linen cloth that I got that I didn't need. But anyway, here's the guy that I need to hand in the quest to. Hand it in.
The winds guide you.
And I really need to enable a feature which allows quests to appear straight away. But the RP value is there for those who like that sort of thing. But yeah, I think that was a red quest that I got, so not something that I'll be focusing on right now. I actually think, oh yeah, and apologies for the Skype sounds by the way, guys. Unexpected Skype sounds coming out of nowhere. But yeah, the red quest I think is in 1,000 Needles. I think it's a 1,000 Needles quest. But I won't be doing that for a while. I do like the 1,000 Needles, don't get me wrong, and I may well record there. I'm sticking a lot to Kalimdor. I've just noticed this. I think it's because, as I said before, I'm not a big fan of like Hillsbrad or Arathi. Particularly Arathi, The one thing that I like about Arathi, and I think that a lot of people will get me when I say this, is for people who've seen South Park, the Make Love Not Warcraft episode, that is Arathi Highlands, straight up and down. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Arathi. I'm not a big fan of Hillsbrad Foothills. Really, for me, I really like zones such as... I like 1,000 Needles pre-Cataclysm. I love it where you can go down, you can, just walk around the dust basin at the bottom of the mesas, the bottom of the rises, the bluffs. I really want to record in Feralis. I remember saying this on my Shaman playthrough, and I'll probably do it on this one. And I also like Ashenvale, but as you guys have probably guessed, that's probably where we're going to go next, now that we're starting to get into the mid-20s. Well, early 20s now, but we'll be mid-20s pretty soon afterwards. So I'm just trying to sell some objects off here, and in a minute I think I will be leaving Thunderbluff, I believe. I might go on a little explore, but I think I take a flight after this, and you guys get to see the beautiful vistas of Northern Kalimdor, Mid-Kalimdor, as we go to Stonetalon Mountains. Because in Stonetalon there are a few quests that I picked up earlier in the cuts between playthrough episodes that I thought I would complete and just see if I could progress, because they were starting to go from red to amber and then from amber to yellow. So I thought, you know what, why not get them off, because Stonetalon is kind of like a mid-level zone. When you go from Barrens to Ashenvale, you kind of stop off in Stonetalon and do a few quests. And I actually had a really good time, which you guys will be about to see. There was a lot of people running around in Stonetalon, a lot of people around the similar level as me, a little bit of PvP going on too. Them Alliance Druids everywhere. What is going on with them Alliance Hybrid Druids? People going in bear form, Starfall in me, everything, Moonfire, all of it. Can a rogue not get a break? But here we go. Look at this beautiful view of Mulgore. It's fantastic. Mulgore is a zone that does not get enough credit for just how fantastic it actually looks. In a way, it kind of reminds me, a lot of people may not agree with this, but Mulgore kind of reminds me a little bit of when I used to play Oblivion, my favourite game of all time. Maybe the idea of these open rolling plains with the forests and stuff like that. But I really do love Mulgore. It's kind of what the Barrens was supposed to have been like long, long ago. Back when the Well of Eternity was still going on. We're getting deep in the lore here. Expect a little bit of lore chat, lore banter from me, because those of you who know me, and you see my other playthroughs and my other WoW playthroughs, I really do like the lore of Warcraft. That's kind of one of the reasons why I like to play Vanilla. I think a lot of people who play Vanilla like that older theme. You've got characters like Cairn, Thrall back when he was the boy, before he became Green Jesus. Good stuff. Garrosh not even in the picture. No, in the picture. Garrosh not even in the picture yet. But here we are. We've left Mulgore right now. and we're about to enter the Barrens, but we're not going back to the Crossroads, we're not going back to Ratchet. We're in fact going to the Stonetalon Mountains, a great zone. A zone that I hadn't explored much before, but really enjoyed playing through at the moment. So here we are. And I think Sunrock Retreat is the name of the area that we're actually going to get to. And you guys will see that in a moment. I'll just let you enjoy the view of this beautiful flight path, and I won't blabber for a little bit, because I think you guys probably want to break from my voice for a minute or two. Yeah guys, so as you can see, this zone is a very strange sort of theme terrain wise. It's kind of a bit like the Barrens, it's kind of a bit like Desolus, it's kind of weird, and it's got a bit of that sort of Mulgore theme to it as well. But strangely, one thing I didn't really realise about Stonetalon is that it's very much themed around the idea of there being this one central road with these little valleys and these little kind of cul-de-sac areas where you do your questing. And that's probably why I experienced so much PvP in these areas, because if you think you've got the Great Path, I think it's called, something like that, Webwinder Path, or anyway, the Great Wood Path it might be called. But anyway, there's a massive central path, you guys know what I'm about, and it leads from the Barrens all the way, and it splits off, but essentially goes all the way from the Barrens right up to Stonetalon Peak. And that is a place where you've got the Alliance running up and down it, you've got Horde running up and down it. Yeah, and there's no way of getting away from it because there's mountains on either side. So that's probably what encourages the PvP. But as you can see, here we are, Sunrock Retreat. A really nice area, a lot of Tauran theme with the architecture. There's a lot of people questing about here too, which is fantastic. And here we are, we pick up these quests. And this is Nostalrius' Legacy. This is a quest that I haven't done just yet because I think it's a little bit higher level. It's Amber. And I think it's in an area where you could probably find quite a few Alliance. Because I tried to search it out and it didn't really go well for me later on. So now I'm just looking to see what quests I've actually got in Stonetalon. I think the first one that I decided to get on with is the one which can be found in Windshear Crag. Because I know that Windshear Crag is a good place to go, a good place to get this quest on with. But there's a lot of running to be done here. As you can see, there's people running in front of me. A lot of people doing this area. When I return in a minute, you can probably already sense it. Yeah, just have a look around you right now. Have a look at the video. What the hell is going on with all these skeletons? Seriously, what the hell has happened? My belief is that it's probably people who have been fighting a little bit further down the road and have been chased back, and then the Horde guards have come out and probably finished the job off. But yeah, you can see when you look at the map just there, it's one central path which runs all the way up and down Stonetalon, and it really does encourage PvP. You can walk up and down this path and see skeletons absolutely everywhere. I mentioned earlier that there is a sort of code of honour on the Nostalrius. Well, you know, red is dead is also a code that a lot of people abide by, and later on you will see a little bit of that. Nice to see a bit of PvP in these videos for the first time, really. I think you guys will enjoy that, especially because I managed to survive, or at least everything that I recorded. I promise, look, if I die, I'll record it. Look, I'm not one of those people who's ashamed of dying. Anyway, decided to go into Windshear Crag here, take this little route. You can see skeletons everywhere. It's kind of a bit daunting when you're doing it. You're thinking, is death going to come from any direction? It's all of these Alliance druids, these Night Elf druids, because you know they can run in cat form, they can get you, they can snare you with roots, then they can get their Starfire on the go, Moonfire, whatever it is, and then they get their bear form. But here, this is the trap, right? I noticed this straight away. I thought, why the hell are all of these skeletons in here? Look at that! And this is the guy what we've got to get a quest off. So I was like, what the hell is going on here? And then later on, you'll see what actually happens is that there was a couple of Alliance guys who had this idea that what they were going to do is they were going to wait for the Horde to come in here and pick up this quest, and they were going to hide outside, and as soon as you run out, they attack you. I mean, I managed to get away from it here, probably because I'm off chasing someone else. But Windshear Crag, bit of a PvP zone right now. Forget Tarren Mill, forget the Crossroads, forget South Shore. Windshear Crag is where that fighting be at. So I'm kind of trying to avoid these spiders on the way in, because I'm kind of curious as to where the Alliance are, and at the same time I think, you know, I don't want to get caught in the midst of an Alliance ambush or something like that. So I'm trying to avoid these spiders, so I'm rushing around. I'm I'm thinking about maybe going in stealth, but then I know that if I go in stealth, I really halve my movement speed. I can't really afford to be doing that when I've not even got a mount or anything. So I decided to keep out stealth and just chance my luck. And we go in here, and we've got a few quests to get on with, and I'll just let you watch what happens. As you can see, there are a few people running around here also, probably doing, there's a quest that you get earlier on that I'd already completed, where you've got to kill 12 loggers, I believe. And now I am getting on with a couple of quests. The one that I just picked up from that goblin tells me to kill 2 shredders that can be located somewhere in this vale, which is kind of annoying, because it's just 2 shredders, and the place is huge, but I managed to do it later on. It takes me a little while to get to that point, as you can see. Yeah, so this is a little bit of the PvP that happened. Basically, this guy attacked a hunter, and I come in to try and help save the day. But he kind of runs into a trap here. He runs into about 4 hordes, and you know, all of these hordes just gang destroy him, this warrior. And that's just a little bit of information, a little bit of a clip. And you can see it's kind of near that goblin's house. Basically, what happened was that guy ran out the goblin's house and got attacked out of nowhere by a known warrior, and I think that I am a bit worried. I've got a quest to hand in here, I believe, or something like that, or I believe that there might be an alliance nearby, so I'm moving in stealthily. You can see those skeletons are still there. There are people running about, and I managed to make it in and I hand in the quest, but I think I might get accosted. So you can see there's a fellow horde running about here though, so it's a little bit safe. I know that if I get attacked, there's going to be people nearby to help me out. But yeah, basically, the situation for me is, if I see an alliance and a horde having a fight, yeah, and the alliance is in my level range, even if he's green, I'll be honest, but he's in my level range, I will go in and fight him. Purely because, if he's fighting a horde, it's obviously what the thing to do is to go in and help your fellow faction member out and kill the other guy. That's just what you do. Maybe that's the rogue style of play, I don't know. But I would do the same, and I would expect other alliance to do that if I got involved in a fight, if they were at the same level as me, realistically speaking. But anyway, I just got messaged by the guy that I'm in a group with, this shaman, saying, look, I found the shredder, and I'm like, fucking finally. Finally, you know, to be honest, because I'd been spending about 20 minutes in this area waiting to get the kill. There we go, I've managed to get this first shredder, and he's done. He's already got the other one, but I haven't, and I'm thinking, oh, well, where the hell is the next shredder at? He says it's somewhere north of here. So he helps kill this guy, and then he pretty much says, look man, I'm out of here, I've finished, I've done the quest, which is fair enough. So I think that it's time to go on a little bit of an adventure and see if I can find the other shredder, which is a little bit further north here, near the lake. So he's just saying, thanks man, thanks for the help, and he's off. So I'm kind of wandering about here. I'm not really sure where to go to look for the shredder. It doesn't take me long to find a group of people who are waiting for it to spawn. And people are really, really welcome for grouping up. It's really fantastic on the server. People all want to group up, which you'll see right about now. Ah, right. Ah, right. So what this is something a bit different, actually. I must have not recorded the second shredder kill, but you get what happens. What I'm doing here is I'm doing a quest which is called Gaia Seeds. And what I have to do here is I have to go to Merkfallen Lake, which is north of Somewhat Retreat, and I have to collect these seeds, which are on the lakeside. And this is a little bit of a higher level zone, so as you can see there are level 20 to 23 mobs in the area, but it's a really nice bit. It's kind of like a wyvern perch, effectively in a lake, just north of Somewhat Retreat. And the only downside of this area is that the seeds are all around the shore of this lake, and as you can see just by looking at it there, the lake is quite shallow and it's quite small. There are about 4 of the horde at this time trying to do it too. So I've kind of got to look for the seeds whilst knowing that it's surrounded by other people. And I think I kind of stopped the recording after a little while because it was taking me so long. I'm basically just running around in a circle. All I did, honestly, guys, to find these seeds was just run round and round the lake, constantly waiting for them to respawn. It wasn't the most fun quest, but you know, like, it's an easy quest to complete, and it got me a little bit of XP for killing the guys. As you can see by this point, I've already hit level 22, which is pretty good. And this is what one of the seeds looks like. It's basically just a little acorn. It's quite easy to spot purely because they're so big, actually. But that one didn't even have a seed on it, which is kind of annoying. And I have to get 10. And as you can see, it takes a little while to find them. And I'm still kind of a bit worried. As you can see, I'm panning the camera about a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I know, and you guys know from what you've just seen, there are Alliance in the area. There are Alliance enemy at the gate style situation. And in Stonetalon, that code of honor that I talked about, it's kind of not there, to be honest. It's kind of not there. People are looking for a fight in Stonetalon. So if you guys love it, if you've got the rogue style of play going on, doesn't matter what class you are, if you've got that rogue style of play in your head, you want to kill some Alliance, you want to kill some Horde, get yourself down to Stonetalon, get to Windshear Crag, or just camp out in that path and get some action on the go. I think it's great. Some people hate it, but I think it's really, really good for the server. People like to talk about World PvP and the good old days of the Taran Mill South Shore battles. The reason why that occurred was because before there were big BGs, before people all went into BGs, basically what would happen is two people would be leveling in the same area, there'd be tension, they'd fight, one would kill the other, the one that died would be like, oh, there's a guy in this area who's just killed me, can I get some help? He'd get his higher level people on, he'd maybe log his main, and then the other guy would get killed, he'd log his main, he'd get all of his friends over, and pretty soon you've got 10v10, 20v20, sometimes even larger battles going on. And the best way to get that something happening is stuff like this, you know, a little bit of tension in the air, a little bit of spice, people get into conflict. It's fantastic. Don't even ask what was going on here. I came back to Ratchet and saw us Tauren standing on the Kodo. What the hell? So yeah, I just had to show that guy, by the way. So what I'm basically saying, guys, is that if you want to encourage that world PvP, you can do it. Go out there, do what you need to do. Hell, invade other people's lands. It's fantastic. I want to see some Alliance on top of the Orc Bank trying to kill me. That's what I want to see, guys. The challenge is out there. So right now, if you're wondering what we're doing outside the Undercity, guys, God, been rambling on here. If you want to know what we're doing right now, I'm level 22. I've got a rogue class quest to hand in, or one that we did a little bit earlier on. And I have also got to get some new skills, because I am level 22. And I get level rank 4 Sinister Strike. Thank the gods. That will help me out so much when it comes to killing mobs. But yeah, we just decided to have a little peek around the Undercity, and I wanted to record this because I think that, as I've said before, a lot of what makes up this playthrough is the travelling, the exploration, you know. And you guys, I think, like to see just how much of a population the server has. I did a /who earlier on when I was doing this recording, and there were 6,200 people online at the time, and that was on a bank holiday Monday in Europe. So it's pretty fantastic. That's higher than it was before. So really, really good stuff, to be honest. Great to see so many people around the Undercity too. One of my favourite cities. I don't know if I prefer it to Orgrimmar, but I definitely love it. And it's just, for people who maybe are playing on other private servers, Phoenix, or thinking about going to Kronos or whatever, and maybe want to have a look at this one and think, you know, what is the server population like? Is it big? Is it small? Is it worth trying out? Well, you know, I'm not going to comment on it really. You know my opinions on it. It's good for you to watch these videos and maybe see and see for yourself. Because it's more than just big population of level 60s, it's more than just a big population of people hanging out in Orgrimmar, Stormwind, or Ironforge. It's more a big population of people around the same level as you, a big population of people wanting to do questing together, grouping up, dungeons especially. And so far, this server definitely has that. And now that people are starting to get to level 60, hopefully we'll see some guild competition, some raiding starting to get on with, which I cannot wait to take part in also. Now, I managed to find, which you guys will see in a minute, a rare hammer, a rare mace, when I was questing in the Barrens earlier. It's a strength mace, and I was contemplating whether or not to sell it or to equip it. And I thought to myself, well, if I'm going to be doing SFK in a couple of levels, maybe I'll just auction it off. Maybe that's the best idea. But as of today, it hadn't sold. I got it back in the mailbox, auction expired, and I'm just wondering what to do about it, whether to equip it. It is strength, it's not agility, but it is strength, and it is a significant increase in damage. But I think to myself, could I do with the gold a bit more? And I usually would go for the gold, but if it doesn't sell on its second time, I think I'll just equip it, guys, and maybe leveling a bit of my mace skill at the same time a bit here. So I go the wrong way, and remember this. feel like an idiot here. I go towards the apothecary area, which is stupid, and I check my map and realise I've gone the wrong way. Oops, turn right around again, and then I think I look up here, I just did it for the vistas, so you guys don't have a look, you know, being a bit cheeky. But yeah, I go here to have a look at the rogue area. Basically what I'm doing is I'm going to go to Menet Karkad, which I still think is a fantastic name for a rogue guy, especially an undead rogue, because let's be honest, undead rogues is best rogues. Anyone who disagrees with this is a fool. If you say a gnome rogue is better than an undead rogue, you're an idiot. You're a fool, and you're a waste of time. Goodbye. Right. So, I hand in the quest with Menet Karkad, and he tells me that I've got a long way to go in the rogue line of work, which I already knew. I am a master rogue. I've been playing rogue for many, many a year. As alts most of the time, but there's a main now, of course. And hopefully this character will last for a few years. I hope to play on Malevolus for a long time, especially with the support that you guys give me. So I'm just looking through the abilities. I like to have a reserve of at least a gold in my backpack. I don't really like buying all of my abilities, especially ones that I'm not going to use. Like, for example, Gouge and stuff, I don't particularly use it. It's very much a PvP ability. I don't really use it much. So I've decided to just go with the ones that I'm going to get. So I take Vanish, and I take Sinister Strike rank 4, two really useful abilities. Somebody tell me, where can I get the Flash Powder from? Is it something that I have to make, or will somebody get me it as a Regent? Because I tried to find Regent pit vendors who would sell it, and couldn't find it anywhere. I guess it's something for another video, maybe if you guys could give me a little bit of a hand, looking for where I can get that. So, I just did a few key bindings here, and put Vanish on my hotbars, which are starting to fill up quite nicely now. Obviously this is a pre-WOD, so there isn't any of the crunch of abilities going on. A lot of useful utility abilities, especially on a rogue, having to use things like poisons and lockpicks a lot towards utility, which is fantastic.
Better be good.
Hello?
So I think at this stage we're pretty much done in the Undercity, and I go to find my way out of there, and I think you will now see me heading towards the zone that we will be leveling in the next playthrough. Almost you can treat this as a bit of a teaser for the next zone we'll be playing in. So we're about to go to that part right about now. So here we are at the Morshan Rampart, right in the north of the Barrens, and I just couldn't resist giving you guys a bit of a teaser of what's up first next, because I know a lot of you guys get excited for the one that's about to come out, the next episode. As soon as I put this episode out, there'll be people wanting the next one, which is great. Fantastic, guys, fantastic support. And here we are in the Kaldorei lands. Oh, straight out of the Horde lands, straight into the Night Elf zone. Not too good, but this is a great zone. And this is a zone where I think there'll be a lot of PvP too, especially because as a rogue, you know, people are going to be creeping out of nowhere, out of the forest, stuff like that, from behind trees. The trees in Ashenvale are so thick that a lot of classes can effectively imitate a rogue by just hiding behind trees and creeping out of nowhere, especially in an ambush situation, because anyone can get ambushed regardless of what class you are and regardless of what class the enemy is, because they just come out of nowhere and you don't expect it. And that's kind of one of the best things about Ashenvale, really. I really like it. So we've got a few quests to go with straight away, but I think what I decided to do is go straight to Splinter Tree Post, because that will be our quest hub for now. It's around the middle of Ashenvale. Its counterpart is Astrana, I believe, which is the elven version. So we can probably expect there to be a few elves and a few allies in this area. I think Ashenvale is probably the first zone that we're going to be in now where we could truly call it a contested zone. And in fact, I would say that Ashenvale is probably more of an alliance zone than it is a horde zone, realistically speaking. I mean, if you're playing a night elf, you go Teldrassil, you go Darkshore, and then you go Ashenvale. Whereas as a horde, it's not as clear cut as that. And if you do go to Ashenvale, it's probably closer. Well, it's equidistant really between the alliance and horde, so it's a great zone to go for. And you can see all these skeletons hanging around. There's been some path PvP, as I like to call it. People stalking each other along the paths, spotting somebody and coming for them. But here we are, Splinter Tree Post, a place that I know very, very well. A place that really does stick in my heart as one of the best vanilla areas. Ashenvale, very much a vanilla zone. So we pick up a few quests here.
How you doing?
But as you can see, a lot of these quests are a little bit higher level than this. This is Ashenvale Outrunners. This is probably what I'll get on with when I go back to filming next. It's a yellow quest, quite currently, so I should be able to do that pretty much fine, but every other quest that I get is amber or red. So, you know, this zone's a little bit hard, a little bit higher for us, but we should get some good experience. And with that rested XP, we should level fairly quickly. Just getting rid of some of the useless quests that I've got here that are either grey or green that I know I'm not really going to complete. A lot of quests that I'll do here will also involve the satyr, which is kind of an interesting thing because I quite like the satyrs, and I think that they haven't got enough attention in Warcraft, honestly. I think that the satyrs were a really good feature. I think in the Well of Eternity dungeon in Cataclysm, they did a really interesting job of making a really good dungeon, a really interesting, unique dungeon for the Well of Eternity. And honestly, I wish they'd turn that dungeon into a raid, but that is a topic for another time. But it'll be interesting to go to places like Xavian and Nightrun, and eventually getting to go to places like, hopefully going to, I believe it would be Maraudon, and yeah, Maraudon, Valspore Cavern or whatever it's called. Really looking forward to that, the Fungal Grotto. But here we are in Ashenvale. We are going to hand in the quest that we got to get to Ashenvale, and then I will do the obligatory jumping on top of a log to end the video, which I always love to do for some reason. But I had to pick up the flight path whilst it was fresh in my mind, because the last thing you want to do is do all of this running from the crossroads all the way up to the Morshan Rampart, all the way up to Splinter Tree Post, only then to realise that you didn't pick up the flight path. So I go over here and I pick that up straight away. Really important that you do that, guys. Remember, we're playing in vanilla. Yeah, and then I pick up the next quest that I can do.
Time is money, friend.
And this is about it, guys, really. I mean, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope that you're okay with the new format that I'm doing it with this post-commentary. It's just because of the way my microphone is at the moment, and things may change in the future. But I was really happy to get on with this new episode of the playthrough. I know it's been a long while. Thank you very much for your patience and your continuing support. My name has been Mittens, and this has been Nostalrius Begins Server PvP. I'll see you in the next episode, guys.